Presently, I'm in MORNE, JALOUX, St. George, Grenada, a place that I knew and know very, very well because I lived in MORNE, JALOUX for more like a year and a half years ago. When my father was alive, I used to live in MORNE, JALOUX, and looking at the landscape and looking at what seems to be the woodlands area, a lot of memories come back to me. Now, one of the things I always say is that I lived in various parts of Grenada. Cherry Hill, I lived on Copper Hill, I lived in Paddock, in Belmont, well, of course, MORNE, JALOUX, and I taught in Shaper School, in Brothers St. John. So I guess that is one of the reasons why I'm able to write so much about various parts of Grenada, and I enjoy doing so. MORNE, JALOUX. And yes, when I lived in MORNE, JALOUX, I used to attend the St. George's RC Boys School. Yesterday I made a videotape of the area there, Canash Hill, Granitang Road area, where the school once stood. And it was not unusual back then to walk from that Canash Hill, come up the hill, and to walk, go through Richmond Hill up to MORNE, JALOUX after school. That was easy because the legs were young at that time. I still could do some walking because I enjoy walking. I've walked up Dr. Bell Hill in Guelph just a few days ago. It was a rough walk because that hill is very steep. But I do not just get up and walk like that. You know that, many of you, that I do a lot of walking in Prospect Park, Brooklyn, where I live. I do a lot of walking there. So when I come to Grenada, it's not something that I'm not accustomed to. But coming back to MORNE, JALOUX, and as you can see, the breadfruit tree here, and I can talk about the breadfruit tree. And back in those times, when little boys had goat and sheep, one of the things that we used to have to do was to mind goat. And there were times when I left the school, and after school, not playing cricket. There was a pasture somewhere in MORNE, JALOUX. Can't remember the exact spot. But you go play cricket, and then nightfall, you reach home late, and well, you had to go for the goat. And I was always scared because in those days, people believed in Jombi and Logaroo and all that kind of thing. So it was, to me, it was a scary thing to go down, not in this area, but way down, because the land extended, to go and look for the goat, untie the goat and bring it up for the night. Yeah, that is one of the memories that stuck in my head. Also, there was a grafted mango somewhere here. This looks like lemongrass. I ought to get some of that lemongrass. Somebody asked me for lemongrass. This, that's lemongrass, of course. There was a grafted mango, right? We call a grafted mango, which is actually Julie mango, short mango tree. So I used to kill that mango boy. What? I used to have a ball eating those mangoes. And then, of course, there were cocoa trees. And we used to take the knives. My father, we used to go down there. He used to get some other friends of his, and we used to go down there, and we used to jug down the cocoa and the cocoa trees. And that is why I was able to write about the processing, how we did it as a family, preparing the cocoa, because it involves quite a lot. Not only the juking down of the cocoa from the cocoa tree, but then you have to cut the cocoa and put the pods in a lard pan. And if you want to know how heavy a lard pan of cocoa is, you don't have to lift it up. You don't have to heft it. I can tell you, heft. Remember the word heft? Boy, we have some kind of words there. You had to heft the lard pan, but it was very heavy. And right in this area here, the cocoa had to sweat the cocoa. You put some logo leaves or banana leaves, and you sweat the cocoa, and then leave it in the boxes there for a while. And then the next process is to put the cocoa to dry. We used to spread the cocoa on crocus bag. This is crocus. It's crocus bag, but we change up words in Grenada, yeah. So say crocus bag, crocus, and we put the cocoa on the bags, put it in the sun, and we used to put it to dry up in that area up there, in the sun, to dry. And that sometimes was sort of a trial. I tell you why it was a trial, because there were times when you put the cocoa there, as soon as you put it to dry in the sun, the rain will come down, and you have to go and bring the cocoa back in. And then as soon as the rain stops, you go put it back out there, and then the rain come again. So it's a sort of a cat and mouse game with Mother Nature back then. Yeah, hold on, I'm coming. So yes. So back to the cocoa and then the grinding part. I saw some of the mills that we used to grind the cocoa with. Well, when you grind, you use your right hand. When your right hand tired, you use your left hand. But it was all good. And the people, I'm glad to see that people are still making the cocoa balls, because they say a chocolate tea, boy. Nice chocolate tea when you eat that, you drink that, sorry. And you have your bakes and fish cake or saltfish sauce. Nice stuff, good stuff, good stuff. So that is about cocoa. But there are other things I would like to talk about, eh? I'd like to talk about something else. So the fruits were all there. There was a Shebo mango. I haven't seen a Shebo mango in a long time. But Shebo, I love the Shebo mango. And I could remember years ago, well, I was the only boy living there, because my sisters on my father's side were all there, but I was the only boy. So when I went down to the land, well, when I see mango, so mango on the ground, mango on the tree. Back then I didn't know where to start to eat the suck mangoes. And then when I think of Brooklyn today, and I see mangoes, and they tell me $3.50 for one mango, I said to myself, boy, you know, because there was a time in my life I used to eat so many mangoes, and look, paying $3.50 for one mango in Brooklyn. But such is life, such is life. Now to the breadfruit tree. I tell you about the breadfruit tree. Now, I really believe, truly, I've mentioned that the times God spared my life, and I could have been gone, but I have to stand this morning and thank Papa God for sparing my life. My brother Carl can attest to what I'm about to say. He can tell you. There were 2 breadfruit trees. This one is still standing. Who knows, probably Ivan perhaps shoot down the other one, which was next day. But I do recall that there was a time I was going to pick breadfruit, climbing the breadfruit tree to pick breadfruit. My brother Carl stood on the ground to collect the breadfruit that I was going to jug down with a cocoa knife. Now there was a long bamboo rod, and at the end of the bamboo rod was a cocoa knife. So I stuck the cocoa knife above my head, and I tried to go up to a higher branch because I saw some breadfruit that I wanted to jug down, but I want to position myself better. Lord have mercy, my hand touched the bamboo rod and it came down. My friends, as I stand here this morning, it's a gospel truth. If that rod with that curved metal, sharp curved metal at the end of the bamboo rod, if that had hit me in the head, on my neck, severe in the vein there, I wouldn't have been here this morning to tell you about it. That is the reason why I have to thank Papa God for sparing my life. Just as He spared my life when I fell in the water, looking at the fellows on the carronade swim on the jetty right in front of the fire station. And the time someone clipped my feet, well, you have heard the story, some of you already. And I was in the water struggling. People thought that I was able to swim, but I didn't learn the art of swimiology, as my good friend Justin Crow McBurney used to say. I did not learn the art of swimiology, so I was in a desperate situation in need of help. And out of nowhere, a hand grabbed me and pulled me to safety. And you know what? I just can't remember who was the one that actually pulled me out. But wherever you are, if you're alive, thank you. And then, of course, 2017, when my lungs was filled with water and my feet was all swollen, I couldn't put on shoes, and the doctors told me it was not heart failure, you had chronic heart failure. Desperate need. They didn't have much hope for me, and just as they were about to put in certain things into my heart started beating as normal as possible. Again, I have to thank God. And another reason why I have to thank God, walking on Caton and Flatbush in 1985, and a bullet came out of nowhere and hit me in my leg. Yes, my friends, I have to pause this morning to thank Papa God for sparing my life. So much for those stories, but there's another story I have to tell you. Now, JALOUX is listed as St. George, but the life in JALOUX while I live here is much like a life my good friend Hudson George and others, Errol Alexis, my good friend, it's similar to what they lived, because the yams, the bush yam, the tanya, the trees, the various trees, similar experience. And I had the experience of people who live in the country, and I thank God for that, because I'm able to write about the tongue and the country. Now when I come to Grenada, I take pictures. I do not only take pictures of St. George's, I move around the place. Someone told me recently, man, you're only thinking about one place. I said, look at my post. Don't look at one post. You're going to see I cover the parishes, all the parishes, yes. And yes, I love living in the country parts in Grenada, because you meet nice people, wonderful people, genuine people. And the little story I want to tell, just to conclude, there was a pig pen right down in that area there, a pig pen. Now pigs are very smart animals, eh? Don't fool yourself. You think man alone has sense? Pig have more sense than some men, believe it. And I used to clean the pig pen, being experienced doing that. And this will make you laugh. When you're cleaning pig pen, there was a wall. You had to throw the pig mess over the wall with a spade. So when you take the spade now and you take a spade full of pig mess and you throw it over the wall, try to throw it over the wall, sometimes you ain't throw it too good. So it come back at you, but if you ain't duck, boy, you're in trouble. You have to duck or to get yourself away from the pig. And the pig, I always was sort of fearful of them in a way because you never know how they will react, the pigs. One time, one of the pigs got away. I know the exact area where we were looking for the pig. We went all the way down there looking for the pig. Boy, we couldn't see the pig. We couldn't find the pig. Look among the trees, behind bushes. We couldn't find the pig. But all the time the pig right in the area, they looking at us. The pig with his eyes bent, head bent, and the pig looking at us. And we looking all over. But we left the gate open. So the pig just when he started looking, and we sort of give a comment. So the pig started looking, and it just went right back. I guess it was accustomed to its home, so we didn't have to actually look again. So these are some of the stories that I remember. Happy for the life that I've lived. Happy for the friends that I have. Friends who have stayed with me in friendship over many, many years. Thankful for those who, on my return to where I am presently staying, on my return many times, they would leave golden apples and they would leave mangoes, and I would call friends and say, I have golden apples, I have mangoes, and I would drop off some for people, because life that my mother taught me is about sharing. You don't keep all to yourself. And the more you share, well, I give away so many golden apples, and I keep giving them away, and the more I give away, the more I see. I can't eat all. It's not good. Can't overdo it. I always tell you that moderation is key. You have to take your time and a little, not too much. But God is good. I'm happy to be in Grenada. The world is changing. There's a lot of changes I expect this year. Some of the changes many of us would not like. But what can I say? Keep your faith in God. Keep believing. Because no matter what happens, no matter what comes, believe that God will take care of you. Keep the faith. Anthony Wendell lyrics in MORNE, JALOUX, St. George, Grenada. And pull this a little closer. Yes, I'm pretty sure it's the Woodlands area I'm looking at. And I was seeing a little spot a while ago, and I'm not sure, but I saw, did I see a boat parked up or somewhere there so I can pull it in? And which it looks to me like maybe the Pandy Beach area. I don't know. I think I'll ask my friend Stanley or my brother Charlie. I'll be able to tell me exactly what I'm looking at. God bless. The breadfruit tree. Never knock the breadfruit tree. Because during the Second World War, when the shipping lanes were dangerous and the German submarines with their torpedoes were blowing up ships, and goods could not come to Grenada as freely as before, the breadfruit helped save the day. Just as the plantain helped save the day for Julian Fedon and his men in Belvedere. And don't knock the coconut, because when things get hard and you have breadfruit, you have plantain, and you have coconut, you will survive. You will survive. Blessings. And you could actually throw in a pawpaw or tooth. Blessings, blessings, blessings.